Welcome back to another episode of Shri FC. I hope you all are very well and very good. I apologize for not being there for the last 2 or 3 days because I had some important work and therefore I was not able to make a video. So, big apology on that part. And today I'm back with Chelsea Talks episode. And today I'm going to cover a lot of news. So, stay tuned till the end. And people, if you haven't subscribed, please, it doesn't take much. Do subscribe to the channel and please like the video. It only helps the video to reach more audience. And please, we need to increase the family as well. So please do support the channel. It doesn't take much. So before starting, I'm going to take some chats and big up to Almighty Sports Plus in the chat. Please, people, go to Ankit Bhai's channel, Almighty Sports Plus and Almighty Blues FC, and do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't take much. Almighty Sports Plus, Almighty Blues FC. Please subscribe to his channel. Fantastic channel and a great person. So do subscribe to his channel. So now coming on to the first news of Chelsea today, and I'm going to cover at least 18 to 19 news for you today. So the first Chelsea news today is around N'Golo Kante. Get well soon, N'Golo Kante. This was a post by Goal. Now Thomas Tuchel in his conference after the match said he feels it pretty strong. So not good news. So he has got a bit of muscular injury, and I think he has said that he feels it very strong, which is a massive concern. Now Chelsea were very scared that the injury Kante got might have been even more you can say serious, and it could have put Chelsea in a big jeopardy for the future as well. But the news that's come out right now is by a very reliable Matt Law is N'Golo Kante is still waiting for exact diagnosis of his hamstring injury, but fears he will miss up to 4 weeks, underlying the dilemma Chelsea face over the future. Along with that as well, I also want to inform you all that N'Golo Kante most probably will not go to the international duty with France in September, and also he will miss 4 to 5 weeks for Chelsea, and that's going at minimum as well. So it's sadly a very major injury for N'Golo Kante. The good news is that it's not as scary as people might have thought. Many people are thinking he might be out for 2, 3, 4 months. The good thing is it's not that serious, but sadly it is still very serious, and sadly he still will be out for at least 4 to 5 weeks. Now, you know, we are right now in August 15 to 16, which means you can say 4 to 5 weeks literally means that he won't be back until end of the September, which is sadly a very bad news for Chelsea. So with N'Golo Kante, again I will repeat, is N'Golo Kante still waiting for his exact diagnosis of his hamstring injury, but fears he will miss up to 4 weeks, underlying the dilemma Chelsea face over his future, which is sadly a massive concern. The injury of Kante is also a massive concern for Chelsea. And I think sadly, with N'Golo Kante, injuries are only increasing as the age passes by. And this is why you can see Chelsea being linked with midfielders like Matheus Nunes, now who is signed for Wolves, by the way, and also Frenkie de Jong, who Chelsea are trying to get. But Barcelona is still very rigid, and de Jong is also very rigid to get his, you can say, his deferred wages. Because this deal is becoming a big problem. It's becoming a big problem for all. And sadly, that's the thing with N'Golo Kante right now. The N'Golo Kante is getting injury after injury, and is only getting a big trouble for Chelsea as well. And sadly, with this injury, N'Golo Kante most probably will be out for 4 to 5 weeks. And that's also a minimum, because it could even be more. And let's see how does this exact diagnosis come. So these reports are still very, you can say, inaccurate, because his exact diagnosis have not come. If exact diagnosis, God forsake, comes back, then he could be out for a long time. So God forsake doesn't happen, and Kante is available as soon as possible for all of us. Going to the next news as well today for the guys. And the next news for you today is regarding Marc Cucurella incident that came yesterday as well. We all know with Marc Cucurella incident as well that this incident has just come out, and no further action re Marc Cucurella incident yesterday. VAR reviewed it and decided on a red card. Sadly, I think that's the condition of the English refereeing as well. We should not be a surprise as well. I think it's been utter chaos what happened against Chelsea and Tottenham. I'm sorry to say, but Chelsea have been robbed. Chelsea have been robbed in this game. For me, it's not coming out of bias because I'm a Chelsea fan, but Chelsea were robbed. And the biggest surprise is that after the match, no action has been taken. I think Premier League is trying to tell you all that you can headbutt a player, but you cannot pull up his hairs. I think you can headbutt him, but you can pull his hairs. You cannot headbutt him, but you can pull his hairs, which is very disappointing what precedent they're trying to set. No further action, remark Cucurella. VAR reviewed and decided on a red card. That's a massive concern, a red flag for the refereeing in England, and is becoming a massive concern. Simon Stone is a very reliable source, and I think when he brings out some news, you need to be very accurate about that he has got this news mostly correct. So that was about the Mark Cucurella incident tomorrow. Now going on to Anthony Taylor, and Anthony Taylor has said that Chelsea FC will wait for the findings of a new independent panel before deciding whether to lodge a formal complaint about the referee Anthony Taylor. Now, Anthony Taylor has been the talk of the town since yesterday. He has been the talk of the town for everyone involved. Anthony Taylor is literally hated in the Chelsea fan base and is absolutely despised among the Chelsea fan base. Now, Chelsea have the choice, like Everton had, to lodge a complaint against Anthony Taylor. Everton lodged a complaint against a referee who did not give the penalty for a Rodri handball, which might have been a big part responsible if Everton were relegated. Now, PG Mall apologized to Everton at that time, but Chelsea at the moment, this is the first time in the Premier League, there's an independent panel that will be reviewing the matches and that will be analyzing the refereeing decisions. Now, Chelsea FC will wait for the findings to come out before they will lodge a formal complaint against Anthony Taylor. There's other news of Anthony Taylor as well. Thomas Tuchel made it very clear in his post-match conference. The referee had a huge say, and unfortunately, everything went in the opposite direction. So both goals should never ever have been stood. It's incredible and unbelievable how this happens in the time we are in, and I think he's absolutely correct. And Thomas Tuchel here just did not attack Anthony Taylor. I think he also attacked the VAR as well, which was incapable of reversing the decision as well. You can even see at the right side, Ruben Loftus-Cheek also expressing his disappointment that the dressing room is filled with anger and disappointment. And this is why Chelsea are waiting for the findings to come out. And if Chelsea find out a lot of irregularities, I think then Chelsea will lodge a complaint against Anthony Taylor. Or otherwise, as always, this will be just flown away like it was nothing. And again, this has bit back Chelsea in the back. This will bite another team in the back as the season goes on. But the Premier League is so incapable that they will never take action. I think we all keep on laughing as rivals, as everything. If this happens against United, you might know that I might not be this angry. But the problem is we are so concentrated on a club that we do not consider on these factors as well. And once these referees will pounce on our team will get the decisions against us and against us in such a way that it will cause us points. Then only we will realize how bad the refereeing in England really is and how people have to really step up. They have literally cost Chelsea the well-deserved 3 points in that game. For me, those 3 points would have been so important for Chelsea. And now, let's say Chelsea missed out on top 4 by 2 points. Who is going to recover that? But sadly, that's the case with English football, and that's never going to improve. Thomas Tuchel also is being charged and fined for the misconduct, which is very disappointing. Tuchel players are worried whenever they see Anthony Taylor assigned to their fixtures. The tension between Taylor and Chelsea has been bubbling away inside the club for years through several iterations of the dressing room under a succession of head coaches. Now, succession of head coaches means that you can include Maurizio Sarri in that, you can include Jose Mourinho in that, Antonio Conte in that, and now Thomas Tuchel as well in that. People have to remember that Antonio Conte was robbed of an FA Cup in the first time when Anthony Taylor literally did not penalize Alexis Sanchez for holding the ball in his hand. Arsenal went on to score and they won the FA Cup. Next time under Maurizio Sarri, Chelsea were robbed in the game against Manchester United at home, where Chelsea should not have lost. Michy Batshuayi was literally beaten on his balls and Harry Maguire should have been given a red card, but it wasn't. And again next season under Frank Lampard as well, Chelsea were hard done by in the FA Cup final when Kovacic was given the red card, and also Emiliano Martinez literally handled the ball outside his penalty area and still it wasn't penalized. And Chelsea were hard done by that as well. Harry Maguire and Aspilicueta incident happened as well, where Chelsea should have had a free penalty kick inside the United area. And again, Anthony Taylor literally bit Chelsea in the back. Then Thomas Tuchel came in, and again under Thomas Tuchel against Liverpool, he made mistakes in the match as well. Against Reece James, he gave the red card, and he has always been inconsistent. And now again, this guy has literally bit Chelsea in the back. He has again made 2 decisions which have went against us in a very bad way. Cucurella was literally hair pulled, and this guy did not even have audacity to give it a foul, let alone a red card. And he was so near to the incident that he had a proper eye to that. And the first one as well, Havertz was fouled. He allowed the play. He did not give it a foul, and Tottenham went on to score. And this is becoming a big problem, and dressing room has every right to be angry. This is the reason why Premier League referees aren't much used in UCL. Hello, Bhaiya. Hello, Danish Bhai. And this is why Premier League referees are not used. Even in FIFA, I believe FIFA World Cup, only Anthony Taylor is, I think, one that's going on. Otherwise, the referees are so bad and this is one of the best referees in England, and this is the standard England have. This is the best referee in England, and you see how bad he is. England refereeing standards are absolutely down the gutter, and this is very, very sad to see what happened with Chelsea. This is not coming out because I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm being unbiased. We were robbed. We were heavily robbed, and Tottenham did not even deserve a penis from that match, let alone getting a draw out of that match. We all have been caused here, and I think Chelsea have been heavily caused by him. Previous season, United versus Chelsea, where Rudiger almost hit Sancho with foot on head. I agree. Not even Chelsea. He has absolutely ignored everything. All the clubs have been under his scalp. All the clubs will suffer from this referee decisions, not just Chelsea. At some point, Arsenal will. At some point, United will. At some point, Liverpool will. And Liverpool, the biggest problem in Premier League is when Liverpool made a case about Paul Tierney, he was immediately removed from the refereeing Liverpool games. This is the impact Liverpool have. When Liverpool complained that Paul Tierney should not referee their games, until yesterday when Liverpool drew to Palace, he wasn't allowed to manage the Liverpool games. But here, Thomas Tuchel, when he has complained, has been forced to be charged, and now most probably Anthony Taylor can't referee another Chelsea game as well, which is very, very damning in my opinion. Going to the next news, Thomas Tuchel comments after the Chelsea draw with Tottenham are being investigated by the FA. For me, this is absolutely ludicrous. How are his comments being investigated by FA? Why are the referees not investigated? These people who make very, very wrong decisions. In my job as well, if I do not do my job well, I'm fired from it. A person who works at a school is also fired when he does not get the result. You're fired for every job you commit if you concede a failure. And here, there's literally no accountability for anything. For me, just tell me, how can anyone be in any job where he's not given any instructions, and if he does not follow, he's not fired? How is there a job which has no accountability? The manager just simply said that he does not agree with the decisions he made. He had a big impact in the decision, and Anthony Taylor has a not good reputation in Chelsea dressing room, because Chelsea dressing room has always been absolutely derailed by Anthony Taylor. We lost the FA Cup due to him. We lost to United due to him. We lost to Tottenham due to him, because for me, that's a loss. That's not a draw. That's a loss, and that's because of Anthony Taylor. And Thomas Tuchel is not allowed to give his opinion. Thomas Tuchel is not allowed to give his opinion on that. But because it's a referee, let's find Thomas Tuchel and put him away. If this was Jurgen Klopp, he will not have been fined. I again will reiterate. If it was Jurgen Klopp, he will not have been fined. It's just because it's Thomas Tuchel and it's Chelsea, he's being fined, and the agenda against Chelsea is very, very real, and it's getting sad now. How can you investigate a manager who made a real confession that the referee made wrong decision, but there is no accountability on these refs who have been making this wrong decision for year after year after year? How can you be in a job where there's literally no accountability? How in a job there's no accountability for these referees absolutely making bad decisions, not being good enough for the job? But okay, the referees cannot be cautioned, but the managers can be fined, charged, punished, and everything possible in the books against the managers. Michael Edwards has turned down Chelsea sporting director opportunity. Edwards recently told Chelsea Football Club he's taking time out, search ongoing, most candidates in work, so appointment will still likely after window, plus Broha in new contract talks. Michael Edwards has been heavily linked with Chelsea for a long time. Todd Bowley has been heavily trying to get Michael Edwards as Chelsea, and it's been going on for a very long time. Todd Bowley tried for him at the early stage, but sadly he was rejected by Michael Edwards because he's taking a sabbatical. I think Todd Bowley has been adamant to have Michael Edwards as a sporting director for Chelsea, because Todd Bowley is adamant that he wants to follow the structure that Liverpool have. He has been very adamant. The structure he wants to follow is of Liverpool, and therefore he's excessively after Michael Edwards. But right now, Michael Edwards has been rejecting Chelsea here and there, and he has been clear about getting a sabbatical. For me, for Chelsea, I'm being very honest. We need to get away for another sporting director if he doesn't want to come. But for me, if Michael Edwards wants to come, but he wants to come next year, I think it will be smart of Chelsea to wait for it. Michael Edwards is one of, if not the most talented sporting director in the world at the level of Luis Campos. He's one of the best sporting director in the world, and he's really going to be a big buy for Chelsea. I think Chelsea will be very smart to wait for Michael Edwards' 1 year break and then bring him on. There should be no urgency. This window has been on Thomas Tuchel. All the targets that Chelsea have signed are of Thomas Tuchel. let's finish this season on a high, and then let's bring Michael Edwards next season. For me, Michael Edwards is a no-brainer, one of the best sporting director in charge, and I think Chelsea should do everything they can to get him. If not this season, then 100% next season as well. That decision costed Chelsea 2 points, and Man City won Premier League by only 1 point. This might hurt you long run. I agree, and this is why the refs in the Premier League are the most incompetent I've seen in the world, and they are the least accountable in their particular profession. Going to the next news that's come out. Wesley Fofana is becoming increasingly frustrated at Leicester City. Feels he's being priced out of a dream move to Chelsea, unhappy that the club want more than 80 million Maguire fee, breaking in the transfer show at 7 p.m. That's about all the it. So people, it's been very, very clear that Wesley Fofana has been doing everything in his power to sign for Chelsea. Wesley Fofana has been following a lot of Chelsea players on Instagram, the people who follow him. He has also been very, very clear about making cryptic Instagram posts. He has also agreed personal terms with Chelsea, and he has been trying his best to get to Chelsea. Even if you see his performances, especially against Arsenal, the performances of Wesley Fofana have not been at the level that you expect from him. He's been very, very clear that Wesley Fofana wants to move to Chelsea, but sadly, Leicester are pricing him out of the move. He has been very clear that Leicester City want to break that Maguire record and want to get at least 95 million for Wesley Fofana. Leicester want 95 million for Wesley Fofana. Chelsea don't want to pay more than 75 around. And this is why the deal is hinging on. The difference is of 20 million in valuation. Leicester want 95, Chelsea want to pay 75. And Wesley Fofana has already agreed personal terms with Chelsea. He wants to move to Chelsea. He wants to make his dream move. But sadly, Leicester are the club that's forcing him right now to stay. And Leicester are trying to milk this situation. For people, I also want to make you aware that Leicester City right now are not in good financial condition. In the Premier League, Leicester City are struggling. Leicester City also need to sign some players as well. And Leicester City need money for that. So people, be assured that Wesley Fofana will come to Chelsea because Leicester City need money very, very badly. They need money very, very badly. James Maddison looks like he might extend his contract. And therefore, Leicester City only have one player to sell. That's Wesley Fofana. And the Wesley Fofana money can be used for other players as well. Brendan Rodgers has been very clearly told that he will only be allowed to maneuver in the transfer market once they are able to sell a player. So that thing is very, very clear that Leicester right now are short of money. So Leicester will sell Wesley Fofana, but they are trying to milk this situation like they did with Manchester United to get the best price out of Chelsea. For me, Chelsea need to remain strong. We need to remain vigilant, and we should not fall for the tactics of Leicester. For me, if we drag this deal on, Wesley Fofana continues his pressure on Leicester. Leicester will sell him to us for at least 70 million. But it's about can Chelsea continue the pressure. For me right now, on final detail on this deal before I move to next news, is Wesley Fofana wants to move to Chelsea. He's forcing his move to Chelsea. Leicester want 95 million. Chelsea don't want to pay 95 million. And the difference between deal is around 20 million. If Chelsea and Leicester come into mid structure of 80 million, I think the deal will be done. And Leicester are just trying to haggle Chelsea. And at some point for me, they will agree on that as well. And I think this deal will come through for Chelsea as well. I told it down for Liverpool. I'll discuss that later in the videos. Football Creeks, people do subscribe to channel Football Creeks. And I predicted Liverpool to slip 3 or 4 scored. And Maguire 80 million transfer only happens one. I do agree with that. Nobody is going to make the mistake ever again. What happened at that time as well. Going to the next news today. And the next news about Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel and Aubameyang. We have been knowing for a long, long time that Thomas Tuchel has been admiring Aubameyang for a long, long time. He knows Aubameyang from his days at Dortmund. He has also been very, very clear about his relationship with Aubameyang. He's been very, very clear that both are even still on very, very good terms among with each other. And Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel has always told Todd Bowley that he wants Aubameyang over Zaha and Depay. Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel has made Aubameyang his top target, with talks expected to intensify this week. This is by Matt Law of Telegraph Football. He is one of, if not the most reliable person when it comes to Chelsea news, along with Fabrizio Romano and all the other Chelsea news outlets that are there. If Matt Law is saying that Thomas Tuchel has made him his top target, then Aubameyang is the top target. The problem with the Aubameyang deal, people, is Barcelona want around 25 million to 30 million to sell Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They want 25 to 30 million to sell Aubameyang, while Chelsea don't want to pay over 15 million. The problem is of around 10 million, where Chelsea want to pay 15, Barcelona want 25, and 10 million is the valuation difference. Chelsea are also trying to somehow include Marcus Alonso deal in this and try to sweeten it a bit. But at the moment, Barca are adamant that they want 25 million in the deal. So Almighty Blues FC in the chat. Big up Ankit Bhai, and people, please go to Almighty Blues FC and subscribe. Doesn't take much, just takes a second. Please subscribe to Ankit Bhai's channel, Almighty Blues FC. And continuing on the Aubameyang deal, Barcelona for me at the moment want around 25 to 30 million to sell Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and they have been very adamant of that. Also, the reports are coming out that Aubameyang will move to Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel has guaranteed Aubameyang that he will get first team football at Chelsea, and this has really turned the head of Aubameyang, and Aubameyang wants to come at Chelsea. But the thing is, Xavi as a manager does not mind keeping Aubameyang, so that's the number one hurdle. Number second hurdle is agreeing a deal with Barcelona. Barcelona want 25 million, Chelsea only want to pay around 15 million, and that is the difference that's coming in the deal. Chelsea and Barcelona at the moment are differentiating between the valuation of 10 million. Barca want 25, Chelsea want to pay 15, and that's a 10 million difference that both the sides have. And until unless that's really sorted out, the deal will keep dragging on. But remember, if Barcelona want to sign Bernardo Silva, this could be a deal to get some money as well. And at the moment, for Thomas Tuchel, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is one of his preferred target, and he will do everything in his power to get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Chelsea. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang also wants to come to Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel has guaranteed him first team playing football at Chelsea as well. It just depends on the club agreeing a fee, and right now, both the clubs differ among each other for at least around 10 million pounds. Going to the next news, people. This is about Hakim Ziyech, who has been rumored to leaving Chelsea for some time as well. People, please, before continuing on this news, please, people who are watching, it doesn't take much. It just takes 1 second. Please do like the video and please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't take much. It only keeps me motivated. Please subscribe and please support the channel, people. And please do subscribe to the channel as well. So going to the news, Hakim Ziyech remains a priority for Erik ten Hag. Manchester United are more attentive to its coach on the subject. The board are ready to move forward if Chelsea valuation isn't too much as well. This is by Nabil Digital as well. So again, I'm not very sure how reliable this is. But people, going on the news and the news that's coming out, people, the thing is that Erik ten Hag at the moment is getting frustrated with Manchester United board. They have been getting like with Adrian Rabiot, Marco Arnautovic. Now they are very, very close to sign Matheus Cunha from Atletico Madrid 50 million, from signing Frenkie de Jong, from signing Darwin Núñez. Manchester United have shifted to Arnautovic, Cunha, Rabiot. That's the way Manchester United window has gone. And this is why Hakim Ziyech has suddenly came as a target as well. Hakim Ziyech is a player Erik ten Hag has known from his days at Ajax. So he's a player Erik ten Hag knows well, and he thinks he can suit his style very, very well. Now, there were reports coming yesterday that Manchester United board and Erik ten Hag differ on this target as well. Erik ten Hag wants Hakim Ziyech. United think he's too old to bring it to the club. So there's a bit of difference of opinion, but this source is telling that the difference of opinion is reduced, and now both the board and Erik ten Hag are on the same boat to sign Ziyech if the valuation is right. Chelsea have been very, very clear that Chelsea want to sell Hakim Ziyech. Chelsea at the moment are trying to sign Aubameyang, trying to sign De Jong, trying to sign Fofana, also being linked to Gordon as well. So Chelsea do need money to get all of these players. So Chelsea are trying to raise money from price sales. So Chelsea are open to selling Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech was very heavily linked to sign for AC Milan, but the deal right now looks like it's fallen through. Manchester United are in big need for transfers. De Jong looks like it might not happen. Matheus Cunha looks like it's done for 50 million. So this is another deal United are looking at. Now, valuation, I don't know what United are expecting. For me, Chelsea will not sell Hakim Ziyech for less than 15 to 20 million. If United pay us, I think deal will be done. If I think they don't pay us, the deal will not be happen. But it's very, very clear, and it's not a surprise that Hakim Ziyech is a Erik ten Hag player who played some of his best football under Erik ten Hag. So United are after him, and this is purely Erik ten Hag driven target. But again, people, I will say there were also rumors that Manchester United do not want to sign Ziyech while ten Hag wants to sign Ziyech. So there were rumors also like this. So I will not take every rumor seriously. But for me, this deal has some legs if United are ready to pay Chelsea the money that Chelsea want. Taking some chats as well, people. United going after Casemiro. इतना confidence चाहिए life में. I think I do agree. I'm not understanding how are they trying to go for Casemiro. He will never leave Real Madrid in my opinion. Bernardo Silva is staying on as he's moving to a new home in Manchester. We will have a clear idea on Bernardo transfer by next week as Barcelona plays City in a friendly 24 August. So people, Football Creeks is a Manchester City fan. Do subscribe to his channel as well. And Barcelona plays City have people on 24 August on a friendly. And right now, Manchester City value Bernardo Silva to 100 million, which is why Frenkie de Jong must just stay at Barcelona, unlike coming to Chelsea or United. And going on the next news, people, and the next news is about Anthony Gordon coming to Chelsea. So I put two news in here that have been coming for the last some days as well. And people, please don't forget to like on this video. Please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't take much and only keeps me motivated to make more and more videos. Please, people, do like and subscribe to the channel. And you can see here, Chelsea set to bid again for Anthony Gordon and it could reach 50 million. That was the news that came out yesterday. But now it's come that Everton have rejected Chelsea Gordon bid and wait to see if they come back with a new offer as well. So we were very, very clear just when Chelsea match ended with Tottenham Hotspur and it ended Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2. There were reports coming that Chelsea made a 40 million offer for Anthony Gordon to Everton, but that was refused by Everton. So at the moment, I put two reports in here. One, Chelsea set to bid for Anthony Gordon and it could reach 50 million pounds. On the other hand, Everton reject Chelsea Gordon bid, which is by a very reliable source in Matt Law, and they want to see Chelsea come up with a better offer, which most probably means 50 million or above. That's the news that's coming out, people. Now, my opinion on the Gordon talks and how Gordon could be for Chelsea. For me, Gordon is more like a right wing or a left wing. He can even play at the right wing back. He can even play at the left wing back. He's a very, very versatile player. Anthony Gordon pressing is very, very good. His pressing and his work rate is untouchable by many Chelsea players. His work rate is so much good, and this is why Frank also loves him to absolute bits. Frank Lampard loves him to absolute bits. His work rate is absolutely intense. His desire is running off the ball is absolutely intense. His dribbling and one-on-ones are very, very good as well. But there are also problems with Anthony Gordon. His finishing is very, very rare right now. Bad. I won't say it's a good level, Anthony Gordon's finishing. His crossing is a bit iffy as well. And Anthony Gordon is not developed at a level where he's going to give Chelsea a lot of goals and a lot of assists. Now, Chelsea at the moment in attacking department have been struggling for goals and have been struggling for a bit of assists as well. Chelsea don't have attackers who provide regular goals and regular assists. And this is where fans say that Chelsea can use that money on a better transfer. Chelsea can use that money on another striker. Chelsea can use that money on another winger who creates chances. Now, Anthony Gordon is a very, very talented player. His skills are none. His experience are fantastic. His young age is very, very good and he's going to develop. And his skills and dribbles are very, very good as well. He's also very, very pacey. His work rate in a Tuchel system is going to be absolutely loved by everyone as well. And he's a very, very good kid with a good shoulder, with a good desire to succeed. And he's very, very talented, who has got good dribbling skills in him and can work, has a forward in Tuchel system, and can even work as a right wing back, which sadly Hudson-Odoi so far has not been able to work for Chelsea. Right now, Hudson-Odoi was a player that Tuchel absolutely admired and wanted him to be turned into the right wing back for Chelsea. But sadly, that did not turn out. There are also rumors coming that Rafinha was a right wing back target for Chelsea, but because he went to Barca, Gordon is being signed for right wing back and not the right forward. And Gordon has got a good defensive work rate in him. Gordon has got good dribbling in him, good pace. So it's very understandable that Thomas Tuchel has asked for his signing. Now for me, 50 million is a lot. It's a lot of money. But for me, if the manager wants him, I have no one to complain. If Thomas Tuchel wants to sign Anthony Gordon, for me, get the deal done. For me, Chelsea need to move away from the previous time. We need to back our managers more. We need to be with the managers more. And for me, I back my club, I back my manager over anything else. And for me, Anthony Gordon is a fantastic, fantastic player that Chelsea need to be going on. But for me, people, I'm being very, very honest as well. Chelsea should not be trying to sign him for 50 million pounds. He's not worth for 50 million pounds. He's in no way a 55 million worth player. But for me, people, I will say one thing. If the manager wants him, if the manager thinks that he fits the system, then sure, we should go for him as well. Another theory I have about Everton as well. For me, Everton are not accepting a money, 45 million pounds, because I think Everton want a bit more sweeter in the deal. For me, Everton won't accept money. Everton need players. Everton have been heavily linked with signing Michy Batshuayi on a permanent deal and Billy Gilmour also on a permanent deal or a loan deal. For me, if Chelsea involve Michy Batshuayi and Gilmour, this might reduce to 35 to 40 million. For me, selling or even loaning Gilmour could be disastrous and not good. He's a very talented kid. But sadly, people, that's the news that's coming out. And if Chelsea involve Gilmour and Batshuayi in this deal, I think Everton will agree to sell Gordon to us as well, because they do need players. Everton are lacking in funds as well. Everton at the moment cannot sign players as well, because sadly Everton's financial condition is absolutely dire, and they can only sign players if they can sell them. So their financial condition is very, very dire, and therefore for me, Everton will entertain selling Gordon if Chelsea are able to sell up them players to them. But for me, Gordon is a good player, can work as a right wing back, right forward, left forward, even as a false nine. But for me, paying 55 million for him is disastrous. But unless he's a manager's target, I'll back it. But 55 million for me in the market, especially when we have inconsistent Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, I think this is not a great deal. But I think if Thomas Tuchel wants him, there's no one to question him in my opinion as well. And people, before going to the news, people, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, people. It doesn't take much. Please support the work I'm putting and the hard work I'm putting. It doesn't take much. Just one like, people, and it only helps the channel to grow more. And Abhishek Bhai is in chat, so big up Abhishek Bhai as well. Thank you, Abhishek Bhai, to join. And Football Creeks here. Is he a striker or a center attacking midfielder? He's more of a winger, sir. He's more of a winger who can play at the right side, left side, and even as a forward whenever required. So, guys, continuing on this next news as well. There's a 13th one news that I'm covering today for you all. And this is the news regarding Chelsea, and this is regarding MSL Palmieri. We all know MSN Palmieri has been really rumored to be leaving Chelsea for a long time. He was tried in the preseason, but sadly it never worked out for Chelsea. MSN Palmieri is a player who was sent on loan for a very, very long time as well. And he was trying to be sent on the loan as well. He was sent to Lyon. He was sent to a lot of people as well. And this is why people, MSN Palmieri had no future at Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel only tried him as a left centre back. Very rarely Thomas Tuchel played him as a left wing back. Thomas Tuchel mostly played him as a left centre back. And it was always clear that MSL Palmieri sadly has no future at Chelsea. So the news that's coming out of Jacob Steinberg is West Ham are considering a move for MSN Palmieri, with Chelsea making it clear that they don't want another loan move and they only want to bring a new transfer fee as well. I want to tell people that Chelsea at the moment are demanding a fee of around 15 to 10 million for MSN Palmieri. Now let's see, will West Ham pay that or not? But at the moment, Chelsea want a fee for MSN Palmieri from 10 million to 15 million middle, and if West Ham pay that, Chelsea agree. Whereas West Ham are trying for him, and Chelsea new owners also looking to bring in transfer fee as well. So people, it's very, very clear. Chelsea owners are trying to bring some player sales as well, because they want to go heavily for De Jong, for Fofana, for Aubameyang, for Gordon. And this is why they're trying to sell attackers like Hakim Ziyech. They are trying to get Hudson-Odoi on loan. They are trying to even sell MSN Palmieri, Malang Sarr, even Timo Werner is left, and a lot more Chelsea players are also going to leave. Chelsea want around 10 to 15 million for MSN Palmieri. Now it depends on West Ham, will they pay it or not. For me, on my final opinion on this deal, people, for me, MSN Palmieri will always go down as a very, very underdeveloped player or an underrated player that did not perform for Chelsea at a level. He came to Chelsea with a very, very high reputation, but also a very disappointing reputation. He was very, very good in his previous spell, but sadly, he suffered an ACL injury before joining Chelsea, which was a big, big part responsible that he was not able to play at the level that's required. MSL Palmieri in flashes, when he played with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, when he also played with Eden Hazard, he was at his best for Chelsea. But again, he suffered an injury, and after that, he never came back. For me, for a player we signed for 20 million, getting at least 15 to 14 million back for him will be a good deal, and we can use it to sign some other players in other positions as well. So people, before going to the second news as well, people, please, I request you, it doesn't take much. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. It doesn't take much, but just one like on the click, and it only helps the channel, and one hit on the bell notification button and subscribe button, and it only motivates me to keep making more and more videos for you people. So please do it, and please support the channel, guys. So Chelsea Blues in the chat, bigger to Chelsea Blues as well. And there's also some news coming out the Chelsea are set to sign Cesaris Casadei. Official bid has been revealed. For me, sir, I've also put this in the next news as well. So this will come later in the video. So I have put a lot of news as well here. And Ayush sir is here, new subscriber. Thank you so much, Ayush bhai. It means a lot. And people who are watching, please do subscribe. It doesn't take much and only supports the channel. And this is by Fabrizio as well. Fofana deal off, no more news. No, sir, there's a news about Fofana. This is the news about Fofana, sir. The news is that exclusively Wesley Fofana is becoming increasingly frustrated at Leicester. Feels he's being priced out of a move. For me, people, I said this earlier in the video as well. Wesley Fofana is doing everything in his power to force his move out from Leicester. He has been following Chelsea players. He has also not been performing well. He has also, which is not intentional by the way, but his head is not at Leicester. He has also been putting cryptic Instagram posts, and also he has agreed personal terms with Chelsea. But the only problem that Wesley Fofana has, that Leicester are trying to milk this deal, and sadly they are not ready to sell Fofana at the moment until they find a replacement, in my opinion. And Chelsea selling, you can say, Colville to Brighton on loan. I think that's also hampered relations between Chelsea and Leicester. It's just my opinion. Nothing of news has come out of it as well. I'm ready to swap United entire midfield with one and only Kante. I do agree, sir, but Kante has some injury concerns as well. This is the news about Kante that's come today. And this is the news, just 1 minute, people. And this is the news that's come out of N'Golo Kante that he could be out for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And at the moment, we don't even have exact diagnosis of what's happened to him. So this could even be long. So this is only problem with N'Golo Kante. And that's only concern, in my opinion, with N'Golo Kante as well. So are you a Chelsea fan? Yes, bhai, I am a Chelsea fan. And Kante with his pull hamstring again. Hope for a speedy recovery. I agree, sir. And that's the news that's coming out for Kante, that he could be out for 3 or 4 weeks. And that could even be more. And Frenkie de United, I think that's looking like that's off. United have tried to convince him with a 550k week offer in wages. But at the moment, it does look like it's off. And Fofana, De Jong for me is most likely right now to stay at Barca. Because right now, Barca are not able to make a move for Bernardo Silva because City value him at £100 million as well. So guys, please subscribe to the channel and like. It doesn't take much as well. And going to the another news today for you all. We covered a lot of this. And the next news for Chelsea is, has Chelsea Blue asked, is Chelsea absolutely in the race for Frenkie de Jong? This is by one of, if not the most reliable person in Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea are absolutely in the race for Frenkie de Jong and will try until the very end. I think people has been very clear for a long time that Frenkie de Jong is a Thomas Tuchel target. Yes, it's very, very mad. But I think Abhishek bhai, with the way United window has gone, I think United want to face safe. They want to face a bit of their face in front of the people, in front of the fans. And this is why they are trying to get everything possible to get De Jong and trying to get him signing a big wage so he agrees. But for me, De Jong at the moment wants to get his deferred wages and the deal is only going to drag on. The thing with Frenkie de Jong, people, is that Frenkie de Jong at the moment, for me, he's a player, I will again and again say, Frenkie de Jong is playing a game of chess with Chelsea United. He's making an absolute fool out of both of our clubs. His boyhood dream is to play for Barcelona, and the first option that Frenkie de Jong wants is to stay at Barca. Only if Barca pay his deferred wages and they force him out, is then he will consider signing for other clubs. And that is where he prefers Chelsea and Bayern Munich because of Champions League football over Manchester United. But yes, if Chelsea withdraw of the deal, then he has no other option but to sign for United or stay at Barca. Another problem is the deferred wages. His agents and him want his 17 million wages paid, but Barca are refusing to do that. And because Barca are refusing to do that, the problem is De Jong is trying to stay. Barca are frustrated and they want him to take a wage cut. Fans are abusing him, and at the moment the deal is only dragging on. And people, this deal will drag till deadline day, and this is going to be very, very long. And this news will not end until August 31, people. And people, please, before going to the next news, please subscribe, people, and please like the content. It doesn't take much. Please do like and please subscribe to the channel, guys. Just a humble request to you all as well. And CR7, at the moment for me, sir, in regards to CR7, at the moment it's been very, very clear that Manchester United want to sell him now, and they have accepted that he might want to go. Even Erik ten Hag has said that if he wants to leave, he will not get in his way. But the problem with Cristiano Ronaldo is that at the moment, there is not many offers for him in the table. And that's the biggest concern for Manchester United and even Cristiano Ronaldo. Another taking question here, and has Manchester United are ready to terminate the contract of Cristiano Ronaldo? I would like to ask a Chelsea fan that will you prefer Ronaldo to Chelsea? if the manager wants him, or will you prefer to pay? Sir, if giving my humble opinion, for me, if it's between Ronaldo and Depay, I will want Ronaldo. But yes, if the manager prefers Depay, then I'm always with the manager. The news, sir, that has been coming out for a long, long time is Chelsea want to sign Ronaldo. Todd Bowley wants to sign Ronaldo because Ronaldo could be the marketing signing Todd Bowley needs to kickstart his era and really get the popularity among the fans. And that is why Todd Bowley wants to sign Ronaldo, but he was refused by Thomas Tuchel to go for Cristiano Ronaldo. So Thomas Tuchel does not want Cristiano Ronaldo. So if Thomas Tuchel goes to Todd Bowley and says, I don't want Aubameyang, give me Cristiano Ronaldo, Todd Bowley will sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Todd Bowley wants Ronaldo. Chelsea want Ronaldo, but Thomas Tuchel doesn't want Ronaldo. And for me, it's time for Chelsea to back the manager. And if manager doesn't want the player, I think there should be no forcing on the manager to sign that. Everyone is milking United at the moment. Atletico Madrid is seeking 55 million plus for Cuna and 20 to 30 for Musa Dembele. Horrible. I think that's what happens when you drag your transfer window so late. Now, Frenkie de Jong deal is off. Frenkie de Jong. And because of that, if United go to sign another midfielder, they will be absolutely cleaned off in the market. Let's say United right now go to Wolves and say, we want Neves. Wolves will say them, pay us 70 million or we're not doing any deal with you because you were ready to pay the same money for de Jong. This is the problem with United. They haven't been able to do their transfer window work and now they're desperate. Now they're in desperation and the clubs are going to milk it. And sadly, when you leave a transfer window so late, you will be heavily charged. And sadly, that's the case with Manchester United. And has Manchester United ready to terminate? Okay, I took this question. And desperate times for United. I think CR7 will go to Atletico. I can't see that happen, to be honest. I just can't see that happening. And CR7 20 goals. I think he will score a lot of goals at Chelsea. I think if he signs for Chelsea, he's going to score a lot of goals. But at the moment, Thomas Tuchel does not want to sign him. So that's the thing with Cristiano Ronaldo. If Thomas Tuchel agrees, he will come to Chelsea. But if Thomas Tuchel does not agree, he won't come to Chelsea. And people, please, who are watching, please, people, I request, it doesn't take much time. Do subscribe, do like, and please support the channel, people. It doesn't take much. I'll always be regular on the videos. So do like the channel, do subscribe, and people, it only helps a lot for channel to grow. So taking on the next news as well and taking another question. So only Ronaldo is a perfect number 9. Ruthless goal scoring is missing in the Chelsea lineup. As a Madrid fan, I'd be happy to see him Chelsea. Thank you so much, sir. And I do agree, Chelsea are missing that department as well. We should have put Tottenham away. We should have been 3 or 4-0 up. But the problem is, Thomas Tuchel does not want Ronaldo. And I think Todd Bowley has been working on Thomas Tuchel's instruction. So Thomas Tuchel will only get the players he wants. And if he doesn't want a player, Chelsea will not sign that player. So guys, moving on to next news for today. And that is regarding Chalobah. So the news is coming that several clubs at the moment in Europe have already taken a big interest in Chalobah. Chalobah at the moment, people will know that Chelsea at the moment are not playing him regularly. It's Koulibaly, it's Reece James sometimes playing at right centre back. Chelsea also have signed Cucurella, and along with that, Chelsea are going heavily for Fofana as well. And Aspilicueta contract was also increased, and Chalobah at the moment has been getting less game time after less game time. And this is why, people, I also want to bring you a surprise report as well, a big surprise report that came out yesterday that Marina Granovskaya extended the contract of Trevor Chalobah just so she can sell him at a high price after that. So there were already rumors that Chalobah might have left Chelsea this window. And here in the same news, a lot has been covered as well, that Chelsea at the moment, especially Chalobah, wants to leave Chelsea or might try to leave Chelsea because he's going to get a lot of less game time this season. And Chelsea will also not come in that move as well because Chelsea also needs some money and they're also trying to sign Fofana as well. So people, this is the news of Trevor Chalobah, and this is by very reliable Adam Newson. And people, please, who are watching, do subscribe and like the content as well. And taking some question as well. There's a rumor going on CR7 to Atletico Morata United. I think swap is possible, but CR7 for me will not love to go to Atletico. And I think his and Simeone thing is not going to work. So I think he's not going to go to Atletico in my opinion. Next question, people. Christian Pulisic is a potential target for Newcastle United. We all know that Newcastle United are heavily linked for signing some of Chelsea players. They are heavily interested in Conor Gallagher. They are heavily interested in Hudson-Odoi. And they are heavily interested in Christian Pulisic. You also saw some of the Newcastle board directors in the Chelsea box as well for the game against Tottenham. I think you will also know that Chelsea and Newcastle are going to have very, very good relation. Newcastle, the director, was in the Chelsea box when Chelsea had a match against Tottenham on Sunday. So Chelsea and Newcastle have a very, very good relation. under the new ownership, and Newcastle have been heavily trying to sign Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, and Conor Gallagher. And with Christian Pulisic getting frustrated with the lack of chances, same with Hudson-Odoi, this deal might not be too much far-fetched. For me, Chelsea will not allow Pulisic to leave. For me, he's going to stay at Chelsea. But this is the deal people need to look out for, and this won't be one of the biggest surprises in the world if Pulisic does sign for Newcastle as well. Because Pulisic at the moment at Chelsea has not been getting his deserved chances, people. That's been the case with Pulisic as well. And Aaron Newcastle, after James Maddison has been done, I think James Maddison is on the verge of extending his contract with Leicester, and therefore Newcastle move for James Maddison is ruled out. Newcastle wanted to pay 45 to 50 million, Leicester wanted 60 to 70 million, and the deal was off. So James Maddison is going to stay at Leicester, and this is why they're trying to go for Christian Pulisic. And Christian Pulisic has gone frustrated with his role at Chelsea, and therefore he's a lone target, people, for Newcastle United. Newcastle United are also trying for Callum Hudson-Odoi and also trying for Conor Gallagher as well. So these are the news people to also look out for as well. And I've taken this question. And so, what is your opinion on the performance of Chelsea against Spurs? So for me, Chelsea were absolutely fantastic. I think many people that say Chelsea do not play attacking football, Chelsea are very defensive. Tuchel defensive, Tuchel is bad. And many people have criticized Chelsea in regards to that. For me, that was one of the best performances Chelsea have put after the display at the Bernabeu and after the display in the Carabao Cup final. That was a fantastic performance Chelsea from people's most favorite team, Barcelona and Liverpool this season. Everybody this season has been saying Antonio Conte, Tottenham to finish second. Antonio Conte, Tottenham to finish second, to go for the title. Antonio Conte team being the most closest to Liverpool. Antonio Conte being one of the best league managers in the world. Tottenham signing Perisic, Richarlison. Chelsea being so lackluster. Many people have been saying Chelsea to finish 6th, Chelsea to finish 5th, Chelsea to suffer, Tuchel to be the first manager to be sacked. I think Chelsea shut everyone up. It was a fantastic display by Chelsea. I think our performance was fantastic. We dominated the whole game. Possession of the ball by us was so good. We were so good on the ball as well. We were dominant. We were all over Tottenham. We should have been 2 or 3-0 up by halftime. In the second half, we were again good. It was a horrible refereeing decision to not give a foul, and we conceded the first goal where Jorginho made a big blunder. He should have cleared the ball, and Tottenham got back in the game. But people, James came back, good assist by Sterling, and we should have won that game. And that was blatant cheating by Anthony Taylor when he did not give that foul, and Chelsea had to take a corner kick. We were cheated out of the game. We deserved to win that game. And for me, that was a fantastic performance by Chelsea. A performance that still shows we are the 3rd best team in England. And at the moment, people are too much underrating us for teams which have right now not proven a lot. And this is not an attack on Arsenal, not an attack on Tottenham, but they haven't performed well consistently in the Premier League for a long time. And people are over jumping the gun for me, in my opinion, in regards to that. Pulisic should consider watching his match highlights. He'll get more frustrated. I think Pulisic, for me, Abhishek Bhai has been a player who has been very talented, but is very inconsistent. Pulisic is a very, very talented player who has got great ability. His creative ability is very, very good. For me, his dribbling is very underrated. For me, Pulisic is also a player that really plays well when he's along with a man. He's good on one-on-ones. He's good on creating. He's very, very good in certain departments as well. And Pulisic, when he's at his best, is one of the most talented players we have got in the lineup. That performance at Anfield, that performance against Real Madrid, Pulisic was beyond this world. The way he performed against Real Madrid in the first leg and the way he performed against Liverpool under Frank Lampard when we lost 5-3. But the thing with Pulisic is that he's very inconsistent and it does not come regular as well. That's the problem with Pulisic, and at his time at Chelsea, he has been very inconsistent. So for me, if he's angry at Tuchel for not giving chances, he should be angry at himself for not converting those. And for me, we should be keeping Pulisic, and he should be more determined to get his place in the lineup. If he determined, he will get that place in the lineup. If he's determined, Pulisic is a very talented player, but it's up to him to fight for that place. Because for me, it will be a big disaster if Chelsea let him go. But also people will need to agree that he has also been performing very, very inconsistently for Chelsea as well. And Chelsea deserve to win. Absolute rubbish. We played so well. Kane and Son were nowhere to be seen. Pressed so well, so good on the ball. But some old bad finishing led us to draw. And that Bell and Balde's agenda against us. Agree. I think Abhishek Bhai, you put everything into words. We were so good. I think we are going to be one of the teams that keeps saying Kane, Son and Kulusevski disquiet. It was a Højbjerg goal that came when Richarlison was literally in an offside position, which just destroyed the vision of Mendy, and still they gave that goal. Richarlison was offside. He really came in front of Mendy, and still those guys gave it a goal. And the first goal should not have stood. The second goal should not have stood. And Chelsea should have beaten Tottenham. But Premier League, thank you, nothing else. And that's the way Premier League have gone in my regards as well. And people now going to the next news as well. And the next news is regarding Callum Hudson-Odoi. So Callum Hudson-Odoi is keen to go out on loan, and Hakim Ziyech wants to leave. Chelsea will still listen to offers for Christian Pulisic if the right offer arrive. People, I've been telling this thing for a long time. There are a lot of attackers at Chelsea want to leave. There's also a rumor that came out today, people, and the rumor that came out is Todd Boehly does not want to sell Callum Hudson-Odoi on permanent. Todd Boehly wants to allow Callum Hudson-Odoi to go on loan, but not permanent. And this is why Chelsea are trying to get Hudson-Odoi on loan to get the game time and get back to the fitness he used to have. Even Thomas Tuchel praised Callum Hudson-Odoi before the game against Tottenham and said that he's a very talented player who suffered because of the ACL injury he got. I think Chelsea rate him very highly. Tuchel rates him very highly. And I think Chelsea are trying to loan him to get that game time and get that fitness back in his feet as well. And while Hakim Ziyech has been rumored to be leaving for a long time, and Pulisic for me will not leave Chelsea. But the thing with Pulisic is that at the moment he's very inconsistent and have even himself grown frustrated with the less of game time. Pulisic at the moment is very much behind Mount, Harvard, Sterling. So Pulisic is no regular for Chelsea. And this is why Pulisic is getting frustrated with the lack of game time. But at the moment, he has also been very inconsistent to get the game time as well. And this is why these rumors are coming up. But for me, Chelsea will not sell Pulisic, and Pulisic will remain as a Chelsea player in my opinion. While Callum Hudson-Odoi for me most likely will leave Chelsea, but he will leave on loan. Todd Boehly does not want to allow Callum Hudson-Odoi to go on permanent because he rates him very highly. Thomas Tuchel rates him very highly. But Chelsea do want to allow Callum Hudson-Odoi to go on loan to get some game time he needs. And Hakim Ziyech, people, has been rumored to leave the club for a long time. So that should not be a surprise. And people, before going to another news as well, people, it doesn't take much. Please like, please subscribe. It only supports the channel, guys. It doesn't take much. Just 1 second of like, 1 second of subscribe, people. Please like and subscribe and please support the channel, guys. Please, a big request to you all as well. And I'm so confident that with the back line, we can challenge City and Liverpool. And I do agree. I think Chelsea have been underrated. And for me, we are the closest team to City, Liverpool, not Tottenham and Arsenal. No disrespect here intended, by the way. And Pulisic might not leave because he's a face of us football, US football, and playing for US owner is important. I do agree, but also I will say that Pulisic is a very talented player that Chelsea will not take a risk to sell. But the thing is that Pulisic has to also be determined himself to take that place as well. That's the thing with Pulisic, people. And going to the next news for Chelsea. And this is the news that Chelsea are close to signing Cesare Casadei. Their third bid could be as much as 12 million and aim to complete the deal this week. So Inter are trying to hog out for 15 million plus 5 million add-ons. Chelsea want to pay 12 million. And people, this deal could be done very soon as well. Chelsea have already signed youngsters like Gabriel Solina, Omar Hutchinson. They've also signed Carlos Chukwuemeka. And Chelsea are also very close to sign Cesare Casadei. These are very good signs under the new ownership that they're also trying to go for the future, not just for current as well. This is good to see for Chelsea as well. And this is a very good youngsters as well, which can do very well for Chelsea in the future as well. Omar Hutchinson, Chukwuemeka, Gabriel Solina, a young keeper, and now Cesare Casadei. Chelsea are building for the future as well, and that is very good to see, people. So people, these were the news I covered today. Please, people, do like and subscribe to the channel and giving an overview of the news I covered today. And the first news, people, that I covered today was regarding N'Golo Kante. And the news has come that N'Golo Kante is injured and could be out for 3 or 4 weeks and even more. This is a very sad news, people. N'Golo Kante was playing so well, but the injury concerns have come back. And I think this is going to be a massive concern for Chelsea as well. And this is why Chelsea are heavily after Frenkie de Jong. Mateo Kovacic is also really fit. And this is going to be a problem that Chelsea will have to solve in the future as well. Marc Cucurella, no action has been taken, as we know, with the Premier League. And Romero won't take any red card and won't be suspended. Next news, people, that's come out, and that is regarding Anthony Taylor, that Chelsea will lodge a complaint against him, but only after the independent panel reviews him well. This is a new system in this Premier League system where every match will be analyzed by a few independent panel, and then the club can go on and lodge a complaint. So Chelsea might do that after that review of the panel comes out as well. Along with that, Chelsea players and the manager have voiced their displeasure on Anthony Taylor. Thomas Tuchel was very angry with him and even said that Chelsea players are very, very disheartened when they see Anthony Taylor the match in terms of the way he said it. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek also said the dressing room is filled with disappointment and anger, and what happened was not just right. Another news was that Tuchel players are worried, and as I told you earlier in the video, that they have been also very angry with Anthony Taylor's refereeing, and it's been bubbling up for a very, very long time, and the players are also frustrated, and Chelsea overall as a club are very, very frustrated when Anthony Taylor is put in charge of refereeing their games. And Thomas Tuchel, for his comment, will be investigated, and he will be charged and for the misconduct, in my opinion, which is very sad. The referees can get away with it. Referees are not accountable, but the managers can be fined and humiliated. That's the way the Premier League goes. Michael Edwards is a person that Chelsea have been heavily linked with and trying to sign. Michael Edwards took a sabbatical after he left Liverpool, so Michael Edwards will only entertain offers next year, while Chelsea want to have him this year. People do look it out for this deal as well. I think Todd Bowley is trying effectively for a sporting director, and Todd Bowley is in a big, big praise for the Liverpool project as well. And this is why he's heavily trying for Michael Edwards. And I can tell you that Todd Bowley is going to do his best to get Michael Edwards. In my humble opinion, if Michael Edwards wants to come next year, it's better Chelsea wait and bring him next year, because he's one of, if not the best sporting director in the world, in my opinion. And Wesley Fofana deal is really, really slowing down because Leicester want around 90 to 95 million. Even Fofana is getting frustrated as well and is scared that the deal might just go off. Fofana is done everything in his way. He has followed Chelsea players on Instagram, bladed Leicester bio, putting cryptic Instagram posts, but still Leicester are not trying to sell him. But for me, people, Leicester will sell him. Leicester do need money, but I think they're just trying to haggle Chelsea. So Chelsea under pressure pay the money. It's about how strong Todd Bowley is in negotiation. And for me, if Todd Bowley is strong, Chelsea will get Fofana for around 75 to 80 million pounds. The next news, people, that's coming out is Chelsea manager wants Aubameyang badly. And I think we all know how much Thomas Tuchel admires Aubameyang as well. And this is why he wants Aubameyang badly. And this is why Chelsea have been heavily linked with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And people, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It doesn't take much. Please subscribe and like. It only helps and supports the channel, people. Please like and subscribe and please support the channel. And people who are joining now, do watch the video back. All the news have been covered up in detail. Now I'm going in a bit more quicker way before I end the video as well. And Hakim Ziyech is a person that's been interesting to Erik ten Hag as well. We all know Hakim Ziyech played his best football in his life under Erik ten Hag. He was just fabulous under Erik ten Hag, and Erik ten Hag wants him. The news was also coming out that Manchester United board do not agree with signing Hakim Ziyech because he's too old, but Erik ten Hag wants him. And as per this news, both the club and the manager might be in agreement. And if Chelsea valuation is equal to United, I think this deal could happen. Hakim Ziyech has been rumored to leaving Chelsea for a long, long time, and it looks like that it just might be true after all, and it just might leave Chelsea. Going to the next news as well, people, and the next news is regarding Anthony Gordon. Now, after the Tottenham game, rumors came that Chelsea bid 40 million for Anthony Gordon, which was rejected, and that's true. And right now, Chelsea also put an offer of 45 million, which is rejected. For me, in my humble opinion, Everton are not trying to take cash money. Everton wants some players as well. They're after Batshuayi permanently because Calvert-Lewin is injured. They're also after Billy Gilmer because they literally have to play Iwobi in the midfield as well. So for me, in my humble opinion, Everton wants some players. And if we include Batshuayi and Gilmer, Everton will sell us Anthony Gordon. But for me, letting Billy Gilmer go could be disastrous for Chelsea in the future as well. So we do need to look out for that as well. And Anthony Gordon right now, as per Matt Law, they rejected Chelsea bid and they're waiting for another bid as well. Going to the next news, West Ham are trying to go for the move for MSL Palmieri. Chelsea won between 10 to 15 million. So deal could happen, and Chelsea new ownership is looking to sell some players as well to get the money to sign De Jong, Fofana, Aubameyang and Gordon as well. Going to Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong, Chelsea are doing everything in their power to get him. United are doing everything in their power to get him. But Frenkie de Jong, for me, wants to stay at Barca, but he will not deny going to Chelsea if Chelsea make the right offer and Barca throw him out or pay him his deferred wages. Right now, this deal is not going to happen until Frenkie de Jong and deferred wages system is solved along with the Barcelona board. And going to the next news, people, Chelsea have opened talks with Thomas Tuchel about adding a further 2 seasons to his contract. I'm so sorry, people, I did not touch upon it in the previous instant. So Thomas Tuchel for Chelsea are trying to go him on a 2-year contract, and this is a very, very good news. He's a fantastic manager one of the most tactical, astute managers in the world. He really did well for Chelsea, and Thomas Tuchel stood by us in the bad and good. He stood by us when the takeover situation was going bad, while the Antonio Conte would have left the club and cried for lack of transfers. While Thomas Tuchel stood by the club, he stayed with the club and he supported us. And for me, this guy deserves an extended contract, and Chelsea have a very, very good future if Thomas Tuchel stayed with us. And Chalobah is being linked to sign with a lot of clubs as well because he's getting a very lack of game time. And people, if Fofana comes to Chelsea and Aspilicueta contract increased, do not be surprised if Chalobah goes on loan or even permanently. But for me, again, I would love to keep Chalobah. But if Chalobah wants to leave, then you cannot force a player to stay at the club as well. Going to the next news, Christian Pulisic is a potential target for Newcastle United. And not just Christian Pulisic, Newcastle United are after Conor Gallagher. They're also after heavily to Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Christian Pulisic is also a player who's getting frustrated with his game time. And Chelsea also fans are also getting frustrated with him for his inconsistency. But at the moment, Christian Pulisic is so talented. He's so young. I don't think Chelsea is going to do this deal. But if this year goes bad, then next year we might see Christian Pulisic leave Chelsea, in my opinion. And next question is about Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Callum Hudson-Odoi is keen to go out on loan. But Todd Boehly only wants to allow him to go on loan and not permanently because he rates him very, very highly. And Thomas Tuchel rates him very, very highly as well. But Chelsea are trying to get a loan move for Hudson-Odoi so he can get some game time as well. Along with that, Hakim Ziyech has been wanting to leave Chelsea for a long, long time. And Chelsea are trying to buy suitors for him as well. So let's see what goes on with Hakim Ziyech. And Christian Pulisic is a player for me who's going to stay. And he is going to stay at Chelsea, in my opinion. And the next one, Chelsea are very close to agreeing a deal for Cesare Casadei, a young prospect Chelsea are trying to sign along with Omar Hutchinson, along with Carlos Chukwuemeka and Gabriel Solina. These are very, very good signs for the club that Todd Boehly is not just investing in present, he's always investing in future as well. These are very good signs. Chukwuemeka, Hutchinson, Casadei are very talented players, and it's so good to see Chelsea being linked with them. And it's good sight to see that Chelsea are trying to build for future as well, and not just the present as well. And people, this was all the news I covered for you today. Any news, people, you wanted to see, do go to the video back and watch it. I've covered 19 news for you today, so do watch it. And people, a lot of hard work goes into it. It doesn't take much, people. Please, people, do hit a like, do hit a subscribe, people. It doesn't take much. It only supports the channel. It only keeps me motivated to make more videos for you. I literally work so hard to make all this news for you, cover it up in a slide, make this video. It doesn't take much, people. Please like, please subscribe. And overall, people, I hope you have a great, great day. And thank you, people who have tuned in. Taking the final question as well. And Chelsea have been heavily linked with Rice. What are your thoughts on it? I think that's not going to happen. West Ham want to sell him, sir, for 120 to 150 million. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think Chelsea are going to go for Declan Rice, especially with the money they want. I think Chelsea will go for Declan Rice next window. And on that note, people, I do end this video. Please, people, do follow me on Instagram, ShreyFC, and on Twitter, @Shrey765. Please do subscribe on the channel. Do hit the bell notification button so you stay updated for my next videos as well. Because every day, mostly at Monday to Friday, 7:15 or 20 or even 7 o'clock, these shows will be back. Please subscribe, people, and please support the channel. A lot of content I'm going to make. It doesn't take much. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like. Please show some love, people. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Hope you have a great day.